Hey yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. We are back on the couch. It is time for another weekly movie review. This week, I checked out a flick that I actually was kind of interested in seeing. Really wanted to see it when I first saw the previews for it because I thought it looked pretty decently funny. But sadly, gotta say, it did not live up to what I was hoping for. Speaking of the film Young Adult, starring Charlize Theron, Patton Oswalt, Elizabeth Reeser, and Patrick Wilson. It's actually an MTV produced comedy, which I watch some shows on MTV, so I would constantly get force fed the trailer. So I think it maybe is why it ended up looking a little funnier than it ended up being. The basic story of the basic premise is Charlize Theron used to be the everything in high school. She was the hottest girl, with the hottest guy. She was the girl that all the girls wanted to be, and she was the girl that all the guys wanted to be with back in high school. Well, she recently has gotten divorced and is actually a writer. She is the ghost writer for a very prominent young adult book series that sadly is actually coming to a close. It's had a nice run apparently, but it's about that time that the story has run its course, and they use her typing, as a kind of a lot of the plot points, kind of progressing, and kind of a key into her soul because she's writing the character essentially about herself and the entire circumstances that she's living in. So she ends up, after getting divorced, deciding that she is going to move back to her small little town for some extended period of time and win back the love of her previous boyfriend when they were in high school, named Buddy, played by Patrick Wilson. So only problem is that Patrick Wilson is happily married with a brand new baby. So it definitely adds a little complication. In the process, she ends up meeting a guy that she went to school with as well, who kind of got dubbed the hate crime guy because everybody had thought, a group of jocks thought he was gay, and took him into the woods and beat the living life out of him with crowbars and everything, to the point that his leg is totally messed up, so he has to use a crutch, as well as some other more down south things that are all messed up. So she and him, even though they had no friendship at all in high school, end up, it's a very weird relationship that they kind of have. Not like relationship, but their friendship's kind of weird. It really just focuses around drinking. She's quite alcoholic. Pretty much every morning passes out face down on the bed with, all the little minis around her, and mini alcohols or bottles of beer, or lots of drunk driving, which is bad. Don't drunk drive. I'm telling you. It's irresponsible. Sorry. But she and Patton Oswalt's character, who plays the handicapped guy, become really good friends, and it actually helps her kind of open up a little bit more as to who she is, because she's coming out of her comfort zone and actually becoming friends with this guy that she never would have when she was younger, even somewhat recently, because you see this level of disdain for the small town. She loves living in Minneapolis. She loves being in her nice apartment with her nice car and her nice clothes and all that. She wanted nothing more than to get away from this town. So her goal is to, like I said, win her old boyfriend Buddy over. And I gotta say, some of the scenes were so awkward. There's a scene at kind of towards the second third of the movie where they're doing the baby's naming ceremony, and it's one of those scenes where like you watch it and you keep thinking to yourself, it's a dream. She's gonna wake up. She's got to wake up. She's got to. There's no way that they can be this. It literally, I didn't want to watch it. Like at a couple points, I kind of looked away and would just listen to it. It was so, oh, it was so uncomfortable and embarrassing, and just in a way you felt bad for her because she was so lost and she's so torn up and has no idea how to cope with anything, has no coping mechanisms in the slightest. So it really is, in a way, it is kind of sad to see. But then, in another way, she's such a bitch that you really don't feel bad for her. You almost feel like, well, this is what you deserve. You're a bitch to everybody in high school. You still are a bitch to most everybody. Maybe that's what you deserve. So it definitely has some stuff in it that's just like, oh my God, is this really happening? So she's attempting to win him over, while at the same time becoming more friends with Patton Oswalt, while also finishing ghostwriting this last book, that's really following her life pretty much to a T. But I gotta say, like, it was definitely not the movie that they promoted in the TV spots. They promoted in the TV spots as snappy dialogue, as just, I don't know, just like much more funny of a movie than this was. This was so much more of a dark, like a black comedy, as opposed to just a run-of-the-mill comedy, which usually I would applaud. I like black comedy. I'm a big fan of it. One of my favorite black comedy movies is In Bruges. Great movie. Anytime you have the star is, troubled by the demons of murdering a child. I mean, granted, he's a hitman. It was an accident. But it was a great black comedy. Very dark, very edgy, very, again, the moments of, oh my God, did they really just do that? But for different ways. Whereas this felt almost like they were trying to make it a black comedy. They were trying to make it that dark, gritty type of comedy. But in a lot of times, it totally missed the mark to the point where you almost just feel bad for her. Not even so much comedy, it's just like, God, she needs help. So I definitely think they did miss the mark a little bit with it, which sucks because I think there was some potential. Patton Oswalt's funny as hell. He's a great character. He can really adapt to anything, so I thought his character was well done. The character who plays Buddy, Patrick Wilson, he's got a pretty good role, as well as Elizabeth Reeser is very good at her role as well. But I thought Charlize Theron did a great job, but I didn't think that it was well enough directed to really express how the director wanted her to portray it. I mean, she portrayed a drunken, delusional chick pretty well. Wow, it's really starting to rain. But I just felt like it could have been better, honestly. Which is why I'm giving it 2.5 stars. I can't even really tell you that it was worth watching. Really, you know what? No, let's give it 2. I'm not even going to give it 2.5. Patton Oswalt was funny, but we'll go 2. And I didn't like how it ended. It ended like pretty abruptly. I don't know. It just, there wasn't really anything about it that I liked. I mean, Charlize Theron was good. Patton Oswalt was good. Was good. I can't say that. It's a tongue twister. But Patton was by far the best part of the movie. But it was lacking in a lot of different fronts. So overall, 2-star movie. Was definitely disappointed. The title of Young Adult actually isn't specifically about her not growing up. It's about the category that her books are written for. They aren't child's books. They're young adult books. So there you go. Just a little idea as to why. But really, most of the funny parts, if you've seen the previews, you've seen, I would say, 85% of the funny parts. If you're the type of person who enjoys watching a movie to be incredibly uncomfortable, then go watch this because you'll love it. But there are some scenes in it that I looked away. I felt so just like uncomfortable and like, because I get so into my movies, I think, what if this actually happened, So overall, 2-star movie. I don't recommend it. I wouldn't even recommend you go and Redbox it or anything. I definitely did not find it to be worth the time. So let me know what you guys think. Did you love it? Do you think I'm totally off? Did you think it was hilarious? I know there was actually on the cover, there actually was a quote, like it was somebody's favorite comedy of the entire year, which I don't know really how that's possible, but it might be. So if you're one of those people who thought it was great or even good, let me know why. What do you think was well done about it? And like I said, I understand it was supposed to be a dark black comedy, but I didn't think they did it well. If you want to see a good black comedy, go watch In Bruges, as well as a bunch of other ones that I can't think of right now, of course. But go watch In Bruges. That's how a black comedy is supposed to be. Point blank, period. So, at the end of the day, it was what it was. Killed a couple hours of time, but I wouldn't spend the $250 on it again. So, even if it was on TV, I wouldn't even watch any part of it. So, there you go. So, at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you love my review? Did you hate my review? No matter what it is, I always like to know. So, as always, thank you very much for checking out my website. I am Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Keep checking in. Got lots of stuff popping off. Some big announcements definitely coming up here in the next few weeks. And, you know, until the next video, I hope everybody has a great weekend. So, as always, you can get a hold of me on MatthewMaley.com directly. I've got my video blog right there that you can go check out all my flicks on, or hit me up on the discussion tab. Check me out there. If you'd like, you can check me out on YouTube. Double click one of the videos on MatthewMaley.com, or just go directly to YouTube.com, search for Matthew Maley Poker. Once you're there, subscribe to the channel so you're the first one to know every time a new video pops up, as well as drop me a comment maybe, ask a question, complaint, praise, whatever. And as always, throw me a like too if you don't mind. Plus, maybe watch it a few times. Of course, like your boy's page up on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com and search for Matthew Maley Poker. That is my poker hub, if you will. Always putting up new information, new posts, some new pictures, stuff like that on my Facebook account for Matthew Maley Poker. And then, of course, on Twitter, you can always follow your boy, constantly tweeting all the time. So search for me at Matthew Maley. And there you go. That's how to get a hold of me. So, until the next video, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Make sure you have a fun, safe weekend. It is St. Patrick's Day out there. Drive safe. People are going to be wilding out, acting a fool. So, please don't drink and drive. Please don't use drugs and drive. Be smart. A lot of taxi cabs will drop you off for free. So, don't be a dumbass. Sorry, there's my little PSA. So I'm very, very much anti-drinking and driving. Very much anti-taking drugs and driving. So there's everything. And until the next video, I'm officially signing off. Peace out, y'all.